Wait a minute. You always buy my lunch. Wait a minute, because you always come pick me up. Why did you stop?
Yeah.
And he's going to be like, because I'm not your boyfriend. We don't like using our brain when we're around, y'all.
I love this guy, Prince Ali, fabulous he, Ali Ababa.
Okay. After Olivia fucking up the mic 3 different times.
Welcome. Wait,
We are
are we
live.
deleting the other part?
Yes.
Welcome to the Icon Podcast. My name is Olivia Van Exel.
I'm Hamza Khan. All right, we're going to hop right into this.
Indeed.
So we're going to be talking about a couple of relationship questions that y'all sent in. Now, since my phone is recording, I had to write them all down the old-fashioned way. So we're just going to go ahead and knock some of these out. So first question right off the bat. What are some girl secrets that we don't know about?
Girl secrets.
Yeah, one of the fellas asked this. One of the fellas are trying to figure out what are some girl secrets that we don't know about.
There are none. Let me think. That's a thinker. Some girl secrets? Like, about what?
In general.
Like, not related to guys, just like,
It could be related to guys. Yeah.
okay.
I mean, I'm assuming he's trying to benefit from these secrets. So
He's
don't
like,
just tell him like
what's a girl secret?
girls wake up
Okay,
and do their face
Okay.
massage every morning.
Okay.
It's
okay.
like useless.
Okay. Well, I don't know if this is a secret, but like most likely if you come up to us and we don't know you, we don't like you.
Oh,
No
okay.
matter what.
Oh yeah, it's a negative situation.
Like, it's
9
a
times
negative
out of 10.
situation if I don't know you and you talk to me.
I disagree. I think
I have never liked somebody that just came up to me that I didn't know.
it's all about how you approach them, right? So I think cold approaching a girl is definitely difficult. There's a certain type of riz you have to have if you're a guy, but like as long as it comes across nice and you're like, hey, I just want to tell you, you look really good today, or your outfit is really cool.
Let me change it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to say we have to be honest with ourselves. Are you a 10? Not you.
Oh, the chick.
The guy.
Oh, okay.
Are you a 10? Because if you're less than a 7.5, now it's creepy and now we don't like you. But if you're attractive,
yeah,
then you can get away with it.
You know what's interesting? I was just telling you about this the other day, but I noticed that everything that is defined as creepy to girls,
it's just because you're either old or ugly.
It's based upon how attractive they are. That's it.
Well, not ugly. Nobody's ugly.
Because the same thing that like a creepy dude would do, if an attractive guy did it, it's now like romantic, or it's attractive, or it's like it's cute.
But it's also, I think, less about how attractive they are in certain scenarios and more about, is it reciprocated? Because like you can't like if I clearly don't like you back, you can't bring flowers to my place of work.
Yeah.
When I've clearly
given you
all the signs
that
this is not what I'm about.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So along with that question, they said guy or girl secrets. So I'm gonna go ahead and give some guy secrets.
Spill the tea.
So what are some guy secrets that y'all don't know about? Guys like when girls approach them. I think if a girl approaches a guy, just like if a guy approaches a girl, it's like girls don't like the guy. But if a girl approaches the guy, you can be like a 6, but now you're like a 7 or an 8. But what off the confidence alone. Well, if it's awkward, then you're gonna deduct points, obviously. But the initial
it's risky.
The initial point of contact, you've just boosted your points like times 2.
I don't think so. I don't think that's true. I can fully imagine like a girl who's like average looking going up to a guy that she thinks is cute and like him being like,
no,
not into it at all.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
I can
every guy, especially because most of the time when you're with a guy, or if you see a guy, he's probably with his boys, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's like now you're about to get ganged up on.
No, that is the best way to get a guy to like you, because then you make him look good. See, here's an interesting thing that I'm gonna spill a real secret now. If you want if you're in a relationship or if you're not in a relationship and you just want a guy to like you, you need to know that the biggest thing that you can do to make a guy like you is to improve his status. Because everything that guys do in life is all status driven. So like the reason why guys want the big houses and the nice cars and to be able to, you know, be like the boss man of CEOs and all this stuff is pure status. Everything that guys do is status. Even girls to an extent. That's why they want the pretty girl, because it's a status thing. It's a status symbol. So if you're a girl and you approach a guy in front of his boys and you're like, I just think you're fine as fuck. Like, I'm just trying to talk to you, whatever. Let me get your Instagram. Let me get your IG. You now have boosted your points because you've risen his status up around the other boys because you approached him instead of his other friends.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So you made him look good.
Yeah.
So now he likes you more.
See, that's so crazy because it's so the opposite with girls.
What, you want us to lower your status?
No, because it's like if a guy came up to a group of girls and picked one, the other girls would be like, why did he not pick me?
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
We don't like him.
Yeah. Another good secret is that if you're like flirting with a guy, a great way to like get him to like you is to ask him questions and pretend like you don't know things. So like if you just ask him questions or like just advice on different things.
Understand. That's so stupid.
Because guys love to be fixers.
Oh my God, what is football?
Yeah, you get what I'm
even
saying?
is that?
Wait, what are they doing? How do you know what's a touchdown? You know, if you're at a football game with a guy.
How many yards?
What's a yard?
What is a yard?
What sport is this?
How long is that?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I think that's a great way to get guys to like you. So
just be stupid.
Not stupid, but
Clueless.
let him show you the world.
Unexperienced.
Yeah, let him show you the world. Guys like that. Guys like to be like their portal.
So lame. Well, I think that's the case when like they're super young. Like
even
teenagers.
Even older.
Because like if you have like a 30-year-old lady like and you haven't done like you don't know what a yard is, like that's ridiculous.
That's different. But definitely like the younger girls. Yeah, absolutely. Well, just average. If you're an average couple or you're talking to the person that's around your same age. Usually if you're a girl and you play the inexperienced card, the guy's going to end up liking you more because the guys want to always be like, you know, the knight in shining armor. They want to save the damsel in distress. So if the girl doesn't know anything and he feels like she needs him to kind of navigate the world, even if she doesn't.
I'm not here for the games.
It's not a game.
It's kind of a game.
It's not a game.
Like, I'm not here for the I'm gonna act like I don't know what this is on purpose so you like me more. Like, if I know what it is, like, I know what it is.
You don't have to act like you don't know what it is, but you can point out things that you literally don't know.
Yeah, but it's like, it's still an intention to get you to like me more. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Well, that's what we're talking about.
I'm not for that. Like, either you like me or you don't. And vice versa. Does it work or does it not work?
That's fair. You can play it that way too. I'm saying if there's a guy that you want.
That's how we played it.
That is how we played it.
Yeah, and look at us. We're doing great.
Except I was the one playing the game.
Except nobody was playing any
I was playing the game.
And we were just having
and
a
I
ball.
was I was running circles
so
around
much
you.
Fun.
And it's okay.
It was a ball.
But see, you were naturally inexperienced, right? There's a lot of things that you didn't know about the world that I got to show you. And that was great. So
all right.
And still do to this day.
Wrap it up.
And still do to this day. It's true. It's true. That's why this works. And I knew what I was doing. But I'm your first boyfriend, so
yeah.
There's a little bit of ignorance there, you know. So
not ignorant.
You actually just proved my point by what you were saying. You actually just proved me completely right.
I wasn't trying to disagree. I'm just saying I'm here for the.
A lot of girls.
If you're like if you're an experienced lady, like say I was an experienced lady,
sure.
Like I should just be an experienced lady and be like, oh yeah, I actually happened to Dubai before. It was great. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I'm not saying like you should pretend like you're inexperienced all the time. I'm saying I'm spilling guy secrets here. If you want a guy to like you more, here's a secret trick on how you can get him to like you more. You see what I'm saying?
I just feel like if you have to do that, it's not meant to be. But
that's not.
That's
true
a different
at all.
conversation.
That is not true at all. Okay. Okay. Wow. So we have the optimist and the pessimist on the podcast. That's what it is.
Am I the pessimist?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're clearly the optimist.
Wait, are you joking? I don't get it.
Okay. So here's another question: how to get out the friend zone?
How to get out the friend zone as a girl?
No, as a guy.
Okay, I was gonna say,
Girls don't get
I
friend
don't
zoned.
know.
Girls don't get friend zoned. Let's be
I
honest.
don't know.
So not
I've
true.
never been in that.
But
I'm just
okay,
joking.
we can play
I'm
both
just
sides
joking.
though. But let's go ahead. You give advice to the fellas. How do you get out the friend zone?
Okay.
Have you friend zoned someone before?
Like, eh, like not really. Well, like I guess, but like not really. Like,
Was there a guy that liked you and obviously wanted to be with you, but you were like, we're just friends,
yeah,
and you didn't do anything with him?
yeah.
That's a friend zone.
All right, but it was like we were little though,
Oh, okay.
so it's like I haven't done that since I've been like of age.
That's okay.
You
Okay.
know?
So
But I can imagine. Let's imagine.
I'm sure you can definitely imagine.
So you're just my friend, and how to get out of that?
How do you get out of the friend zone
Man.
as a
Okay,
guy?
I think that okay, so there's the whole simp thing. And I know no one wants to be a simp.
Yeah.
But I feel as if I know the answer.
Okay.
You have to be a simp and then cut it.
Okay.
And then she's going to be like, wait a minute, but you always buy my lunch. But wait a minute, because you always come pick me up.
Yeah.
Why did you stop?
Yeah.
And he's going to be like, because I'm not your boyfriend. And she's going to be like, oh, well, I kind of miss it. Maybe I do like you. Uh-oh. Now we're dating. And that's how it's going to work.
That's honestly pretty solid advice. That's honestly pretty solid
so
advice.
True. But also, that's so manipulation. And again, I'm not here for forcing things. If she doesn't like you, she doesn't like you. Back off, man. But
that is so not true. That is so not true. 1000% not true.
Okay.
I have been able to get girls to like me that originally did not like me. That happens all the time.
Yeah. But...
Yeah. And actually, so the method that you just mentioned is a method that I used to use. So for context, for everybody, I used to be a big hoe in high school. Used to mess around with a whole bunch of girls. Yeah. I was,
disgusting.
and I've learned so much about girls in general because, so I was on a dance team, right? And I was on a dance team full of like 30 different girls, and they were my friends in high school. Like, you know how when you're a guy and you're on the football
they
team,
were his friends.
it's you and your boys. Well, it was me and the girls.
They were his friends.
Relax. So,
but
it was me and like 30 different girls, and I learned a lot about girls in general.
I think he's cute too.
Valid. You're with me right now.
I am. I get it.
So, here we are.
I would have done the same thing.
Did. You're here.
Whatever.
Anyways, so the method that you just mentioned is actually a method called hot and cold method. So that is a way to get out the friend zone. So one of the ways is you're super nice to her at first. You create a solid first impression, but you have to understand that girls like the attention. And so if you give it away for free without getting what you want in return, or at least reciprocated, then you need to cut that off. So what I used to do to get chicks to like me is I would find somebody and I would compliment their outfits. I would hit them up on Snapchat, swipe up on their stories, shower them with attention, blah, blah, blah. And then after like a week or 2 weeks of that, once they started getting used to it, oh, he's probably going to text me in the morning. Oh, he's probably going to compliment my outfit or say something to me when I'm passing him in the hallway. Oh, he's probably going to try to sit next to me at lunch, all these different things, right? And they got used to that. I would just cut it off like cold turkey. I would just walk straight past them, pretend like they didn't even exist. Just completely cut it off. Because then what happens is they're going to text you and they're going to think something's wrong. Because girls, like, they build this world in their head. They're like, oh, does he not like me? What's going on? What happened? Did somebody say something about me?
Yeah.
Maybe did he find out about this or whatever? And like they just build this whole world. So then they start hitting you up. They get paranoid. And so then they're like, hey, is everything okay? Or hey, how have you been? They try to subtlety. They're like, hey, how have you been? What you been up to? What you been doing?
You're like, oh, now you want to talk to me?
Exactly.
Now
you got to be short. You got to be short. You got to wait to respond. You got to be like, yeah, I'm good. What about you? Oh, nothing. Blah, blah, blah.
Not even what about you?
Yeah. No, I'm good.
WBU.
Yeah, exactly.
That's insane.
Yeah, that is
That
crazy.
feels bad.
Yeah, I know. And it drives the girls nuts. So then what you do is you only do that for like a week, right? So that next week, you're cold turkey. You're really dry. But then the following week, you need to come up with some excuse as to why you were cold turkey. You hit her back up again, and you're like, hey, I know I haven't been able to talk to you lately, whatever. Sorry, I was just doing a lot of work, or I was at work a lot and I was really stressed and tired. I had a rough week, whatever. Always make it something emotional. I just got into a really bad fight with my parents.
Insane. This is horrible.
Some bullshit, because then they feel like they need to comfort you. So then they're like, oh, what happened? They want the tea, they want the juice. So then they're like, oh, what happened? Yeah, you can call me, you can talk to me, whatever. And then once you start giving that attention back, then they're like, wait a second, do I like this guy? Is this? And then that's when you have them hooked. Now, sometimes you would have to do this like 2 or 3 times. So you'll have to have do like a shower week and then a cold turkey week and then a shower week and then a cold turkey week and just come up with an excuse every time. And that shit would work. It's
called inconsistencies, ladies.
And
inconsistency.
They fell for it. But I want to give this game away so that ladies, y'all know when this is happening to you, because I'm an ex-ho. So that is,
and you know what? That hot and cold will get you.
It will.
It will get you.
It gets you 9 times out of 10.
And the thing is, though, is that sometimes, though, you'll be like, hey, I actually do like you. And he'll be like, hey, I actually do like you, too. And then, actually, the hot and cold thing doesn't actually stop ever, actually.
That's true.
And then now you're...
Yeah, so that's another thing.
Now it's just like that.
That's another thing. So for the fellas, you have to know, like, if you're going to use this method, because it is a guaranteed... I've had 100% success rate. I've not had a single person that I have hit up and tried this with that it hasn't worked. So you need to understand, if you do this, you need to use it in a way where it's mature. You don't want to be immature about it and just break a bunch of girls' hearts, you know? And you want to actually you create a good first impression, because if you're out there and you're just using and abusing girls, then you're tainting the way that they're going to view men for the rest of their lives. They're going to be like, men are dogs. Men just manipulate girls. Men just do this and this and this. So I really encourage you guys, if you are going to use this, learn how to get out of it once she does fall, into an attraction with you. Or
I feel like if you're on your 3rd run,
yeah,
give it up.
Yeah. Just stay cold.
Just stay cold. For everyone's benefit. Just
Definitely.
Stay cold. Because it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's valid.
She's like, oh, I didn't even notice.
Right. Imagine.
Oh,
She's like, oh, we're talking again.
She's like, I didn't even notice you were gone.
Yeah. But another advice that I want to give for the fellas, if the friend zone is an issue for you, if you've seen yourself getting friend zoned by multiple girls, you need to make sure that your intentions are clear from the start. So that's one thing that a lot of guys don't realize, is that a lot of guys will get into talking to some girl at their high school or something like that, and they'll come across like a friend. And which is fine. Obviously, you don't want to come across too harshly or too abrasive, but you want to come across nice and a gentleman and whatever, but you need to make your intentions clear that you obviously like her. You know what I'm saying? And not like her as in oh, we're cool buddies and I see you as a fly chick, but that I'm attracted to you. You know what I'm saying?
Fly chick.
Right. So you need to make sure that within a very short time frame that she knows that you're attracted to her. So you need to ask her out on a date, or you need to say, hey, we should do something later. Let's go out on a date. And you need to say the word date. You can't just say, let's just go get something to eat type shit. Because even then she could see it as a friendship. Yeah. You got to be like, I find you really attractive. We should go out sometime. If you say something like that, then she knows immediately, okay, he obviously likes me.
Honestly, you know how a lot of people will be like, I can't date someone unless we're friends first.
Yeah.
I don't think I believe in that.
Yeah.
Because then it's now you have to worry about, am I ruining a friendship? A lifelong friendship that I could have.
Right.
I'm already so close to this person. Is it worth the risk?
Yep.
They're in the friend zone. Now you got to get out of the friend zone.
Yep.
And now you could be losing something that
exactly
that is awesome for something that could be horrible or fantastic.
Exactly.
And it's now it's just complicated.
Exactly. And the reason why the friend zone happens is because a lot of guys prevaricate, because they're not assiduous enough to just be like, look, this is how it is. You know what I'm saying? They're not talking.
He has vocab words that he has to get in every day, and he just used 2 of them in that sentence. Yes. Continue.
Anyways, so the guys aren't you can't come across like a friend, because you need to be able to say straight up what you want, because otherwise what a lot of guys do is they lie to the girl saying oh, they come across lying because they're not saying what their true intentions are, but they're just afraid to put that ultimatum down. So you cannot be afraid to put that ultimatum down. Don't be afraid to get rejected. That's really what it comes down to. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I find you attractive. We should go out on a date. And she's like, I don't find you attractive. Let's not. Don't be afraid of that.
That feels bad,
because
though.
otherwise
I
you're going to
get it.
stay in the friend zone. And that's worse than just taking the L and moving on. So
Yeah, because then, like, if the intention was never to be friends to begin with,
exactly.
and now you're stuck with this friend
Exactly.
that you're like, actually don't even want to be friends like that.
Yeah.
And now you just have her around.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yep, exactly. So that's my advice on how to get out the friend zone. You nailed it, though. Hot and cold.
Hot and cold.
That works. That works.
I've been manipulated before.
It works. Okay. Before we touch on that last question, there's a question on here that's a tough one. Let's do advice.
Oh Lord.
So
Okay.
let's start with you. What advice do you have for girls if you're gonna get into like a serious relationship, or if you're gonna get into a relationship with a guy and you're looking for a long-term relationship? What's some advice that you'd give to some of the ladies out there?
So I would say my first piece of advice. Well, okay.
Okay.
It's kind of like two.
Yeah.
But I would say you have to really, as girls, as women, we have more of a right to choose. Like, we're usually the choosers. So when you make your choice on who you're willing to spend all this time with, spend all this energy on, whatever, make sure that it's not somebody that's doing the high and cold to you.
Mm.
And make sure it's somebody that's consistent and patient, and that you don't have to defend them to like your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a good one.
make sure that you're picking somebody that you actually know is good, not somebody that just feels good for the moment, and like in the back of your head you're like, I know that this isn't right, but like I have feelings.
Yeah.
And like that's great and cool, but just understand that that's not going to be the person you're in a serious relationship with.
Yeah.
Wait, serious relationship? Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you could be in a serious relationship with them, but it's not going to be a healthy one.
Right.
So pick your person, and once you pick your person, you can let down the protectiveness that you've had to build up from this person doing this to you and this person and all that stuff. All the protectiveness, you have to let it go in order for the relationship dynamic to form naturally. So if you have that extra wall up, things aren't gonna flow right. Like, you're gonna get defensive and abrasive and, you know, impatient about things because you're still trying to protect yourself from somebody that's not trying to hurt you because you picked the right person.
Yep.
So
have a strong vetting process. And then once the vetting process has succeeded, like, let that down. Yeah.
Otherwise, that like, you have to let it down. If it doesn't come down, y'all are gonna break up. Sorry.
Valid.
It's not gonna work. It can't work.
Yep. That's good advice. What else?
I would say that you have to make your boyfriend, husband, whoever, feel like a superhero.
Ooh.
You have to.
Ooh.
Because it's the same way that we want to be special and we want flowers and we want to be the baby.
It's the male equivalent to make him feel like the man.
They want to feel like the man.
Yeah.
We want to feel like the baby. You want to feel like the man.
How do you make a guy feel like the man? I know how you make me feel like the man, but
yeah,
to girls out there.
I just need help. Okay, but like...
Oh, so what I was saying earlier. So ignorant. But I thought you wanted to be realistic.
Yes.
Oh, so
But
she this whole time she actually completely agrees with me.
I do think that there is a epiphany that happens with girls, though, where we don't like using our brain when we're around y'all.
Yeah, that's true.
Or like, I could theoretically get on this ladder,
right,
and hang this up.
Yeah.
But why would I do that when my boyfriend is here?
Exactly.
So
why would I bring the water
babe,
up from downstairs?
Why would I bring the water up the stairs, the 32 pack of water up from my car?
I have a full-grown, strapping young man right next to me,
ready to do it. for
Exactly.
me.
Exactly.
And would love to. Literally would love to, as long as I ask nicely.
Yeah.
So, that. Anything you're like, this is physically taxing,
make him do it.
Ask him to, but you have to ask him nicely, because otherwise then it's just like slave.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to chime in here. You have to ask him in a way that makes him feel like
the superhero.
Yeah, like you're the damsel in distress.
Right, like I just really don't think that I'm going to be able to carry that water up the stairs. Like, my legs are super sore from yesterday. Like, it would really mean so much to me
if you could do that.
If you could just help me.
Yeah. The help me.
Help me.
Just if you could help me.
If you could,
I need help, babe.
Or like, if I'm like stressed about something and I have a million things to do, and I'm like, I just really would love it if you could help me.
Yeah.
Figure out how to get all this done in one day.
Yep. And
literally any problem, they can solve it. They want to solve it.
I agree 100%. And actually, I would say that that's how it should be in most relationships, is that the guy should be the one to deal with all the problems. I feel like the girls shouldn't really have to deal with problems.
Mm-hmm.
If a problem comes a girl's way, she should just push it onto her man. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but the truth is, problems and stress and trauma and all the bad things that like can come with life and just trying to figure life out, it can masculinize you as a person. It makes you stronger, it makes you tougher, it makes you more, masculine.
Yeah.
But as a girl, a lot of what guys are looking for is they want a girl that's just really happy all the time, really cheery, really nice, and a feminine girl. And in order to maintain that femininity, you have to be able to kind of dodge the problems. And you need a strong man who can deal with all those problems for you. When you get a flat tire, you need to be able to call him up, be like, hey babe,
right.
I need you to come help me out.
And it's also
so you don't have to worry about it.
It's also like, we know you could change the tire if you needed to.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to be like that.
Yeah.
We know. Yeah. We all have YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
We all know. But let him. Let him is really what it is. And that kind of goes.
And then be super thankful afterwards.
And then be so
babe,
nice.
Thank you so much for coming out here and changing my tire. You're literally the best boyfriend
Even though
ever.
in the back of your head, you're like,
he will do it for you.
I could have done that
every single time. He will do whatever you want every single time. A lot of girls don't realize this, that you can control men. Like, if you just ask them in a certain way and you make him feel like the man, and then you thank him a whole bunch afterwards, he will do whatever you want. If your man is not taking out the trash, it's because you're not asking him the right way. You're just like, hey babe, don't forget to take out the trash. We hate to be told what to do. If you tell us what to do, it demasculinizes a man. Mm-hmm. It does the opposite. It makes you feel like you're a bitch in your own house. It's true. But if you're like, hey babe, I really need some help today, blah 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 blah, it would really mean so much to me if you could just take out that trash for me real quick. I know you're really busy right now.
Which also,
you just put in a little bit more effort. Just a little bit more effort.
It's so simple.
Yep.
And really, that's how you should talk to each other in a relationship.
Absolutely.
Anyway. It's just like that little bit of effort that makes the other person feel appreciated.
Exactly.
And like you thought about them.
Exactly. Like when you asked me to bring the water bottles up,
mm-hmm.
do I know that you're finessing me a little bit? Do I know that you're putting a little spin on your words? I could
go back down and get the water bottles.
Exactly.
Granted, absolutely. I did all the grocery shopping and brought the rest of the groceries up myself.
Yep.
So should I get the waters? No. But could I? Could.
Right. But and do I know that there's a little bit of wordplay going on to make me want to do, or to make you ask me what? Absolutely. But like I'm purposefully being susceptible to it, and it makes me feel good anyways.
And because you taught me that.
I did. Look.
And you it still works.
And
like,
it still
you can't
works.
help it. It just works.
It
feels
works
good.
every time. That's probably the best advice that I could give to girls too, is learn how to control your man. But through your words.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's like, it's kind of controlling.
It is controlling, 100%.
But also, you like it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Guys love it. Give us all your problems. You be a happy lady.
It's really a win-win. It's a win-win.
It is a win-win every time. You be a happy lady. Make him deal with all the problems, but then thank him afterwards, and he feels like he did something. He feels like a superhero. That's how it should be. Yeah. Okay. My advice to the fellas.
To the fellers?
Yeah, I got some advice for y'all.
All right.
So if y'all want a successful relationship, right? There's a lot of things that guys do nowadays that I feel like they're missing. So especially with this whole Andrew Tate kind of phenomenon that we have going on, and the whole like city boys up, blah blah blah.
City boys up.
Yeah. There's a whole
That's a thing.
There's a whole thing, especially on my For You page. Guys
City
are just,
boys up.
they're just doing their thing.
I want to be us so bad.
So here's the thing that I would say to the guys out there is, obviously we know our capabilities as men. I think that we know our strength as men now. I think for a long time, a lot of men were kind of lost in what it is to be a man and what it is to be masculine. I grew up in a traditional family. So like my family's a Muslim family. And, you know, I grew up in like a more traditional household. So I understood a lot of these roles earlier on. And when I saw Andrew Tate for the first time, I was like, he's just another Arab. Like he just seems like your typical Arabic dad. Like nothing really surprised me from what he was saying. But, you know, to see him blow up in controversy almost like scared me a bit, because I'm like, oh shit, maybe am I doing shit the wrong way? But it all still makes sense. Like some of the stuff that he says still stands to this day. But I want to encourage the guys to also think about the opposite, because there's a yin to the yang. So as long as you guys understand your strengths, you need to understand where you're weak as well, and know that your needs, you have needs now, and you know what those needs are that you need to be taken care of. But you also need to know that you need to meet the girl's needs, and that's how you have a happy relationship, is you both are meeting each other's needs. So here's the thing that I would say for the fellas is, the biggest one is to do what you say you're going to do every single time.
That's a good one just for life, though, also.
That's a good one just for life, but especially for guys, because your word is your bond as a man.
Well, I'm saying for guys, like, not relating to relationships.
Slick, yeah. But your word is your bond, and you need to be able to have a weight when you say what you say out loud. When you speak something into existence, you need to know that that has a weight to it. Like, people don't take it lightly, you know. So it kind of translates with everything that you say. So even if a guy were to come up to you and disrespect you, I'm like, you call her bitch one more time, I'm gonna beat your ass. Like, because I always do what I say I'm gonna do. Mm-hmm. When I say it, it comes across differently than if another guy were to just say, I'm gonna beat your ass if you say that again. You know, it's different. Like, you can tell the intention behind it. You can feel it. You know, so guys need to be able to do what they say they're gonna do. And what I mean by that is not just with your words in general, but when you tell a girl, I'm gonna pick you up at 9, you need to be there at 9
or earlier.
Don't be there at 9:01. Don't be there at 9:02. Be there at 9, because you said you were going to. If you tell her you're gonna have a great time this weekend, and she doesn't have a great time this weekend, she takes note of that. Girls know this shit. They like store it in the back of their head, and they're like,
next time you say we're gonna have such a great weekend, she's gonna be like,
I don't know about that.
Last time you said that.
Exactly. If you say that you're a gentleman and you're doing all these things and whatever, but then she catches you one time and you're not being a gentleman, then automatically it just lightens your word over time. So you need to always do what you say you're going to do, and don't say things that you're not going to do. Don't be afraid of, that's the biggest one. Don't be afraid of saying, I'm not going to do that. Don't be afraid of putting your foot down and placing that ultimatum, being like, look, I'm not going to do that. I don't have time for that. Or I can't do that, you know, or I can do that, but maybe not today. You know what I'm saying?
Just be honest.
Just be honest.
It just makes everything easier for everybody.
100%. So as a man, that's the biggest one. The next one that I would be kind of correlates with this is be a gentleman. I wanna dive into this a little bit more. So a lot of guys think
this on my advice for guys too.
You do be a gentleman.
You gotta be a gentleman the whole time, though.
The whole time, correct? That's exactly. Look, baby, we're right here. You almost did the forehead.
I did.
So yes, what I mean by be a gentleman is a lot of guys, when they first get into a relationship, they will open the car door. They'll open the door to restaurants. They'll pull out her seat. They'll be a gentleman. They'll dress super nice. They'll smell good, all of the stuff. And a girl thinks that she struck fucking gold.
Well, kind of, but also from a girl's perspective, it's like you expect that in the beginning. Because do you even like me if you're not doing that?
Right.
Like, clearly you're not putting your best foot forward.
Right.
Like, whether I care about it or not, I know that from your perspective, you know that you should do that if you really want me.
Yep.
So if you don't do it, now I think that I'm not important. So it's expected in the beginning.
Yeah.
But when it lasts, that's what makes it different.
That's what makes it. That's what truly is the definition of a gentleman.
Yeah.
That's the true definition of a gentleman. It's not when you first open the door on the first date, not when the first time you open her car door and all that. It's the 1,000th time that you've opened that car door. It's the 1,000th time that you pulled out her seat. That's what makes you a gentleman. Because a lot of guys will get into a relationship, and the first time they'll put their best foot forward, but then over time it starts to dilute and it starts to get less and less and less of what they're doing. And then the girl 5 years down the line is like, what happened to the guy that I fell in love with?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the same person.
Mm-hmm.
And then soon you lose attraction.
Yeah.
Like, I don't blame you, because it's not the same person. He's not
Yeah.
treating you the same. He doesn't make you feel special. So as a guy, you need to be a gentleman. And it's little things like walking behind her up some stairs, just in case she falls, walking in front of her down some stairs, right? Making sure that when you're on the side of the street, everybody talks about this on TikTok, but if you're a guy, that is a real rule, is you need to be on the side of the street in case something happens, or if a car spins off, you're the one that can push her the fuck out the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So as a guy, you need to be able to be aware of these things and learn to be a gentleman and do it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Don't open that door if you're not going to open that door for the rest of your life.
And also, like, if that's the case, just don't open that door. Like,
yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Because if you weren't raised that way, there's a
whole market of girls that are so fine with opening their own door.
Unbelievably fine with it. So it's like, you would just be better off not
Exactly.
doing it, because you're going to find a girl that expects that
Yep.
for forever.
Yep.
And then that's who you're going to get. Whereas if you just hadn't opened that door in the first place, you would have been like, this isn't for me.
Yep.
And you could have
been
saved
skated.
years.
Mhm.
Saved years there.
Exactly. Another one that I would say is, so this is a phrase that my grandpa told me. He told me that angels don't live in hell. And what he means by that is, if you want your girl to be an angel, if you want her to be super sweet, if you want her to be really happy all the time, if you want her to be really nice and gentle and caring and nurturing and all these different things, angels don't live in hell. So you can't make the environment that she's in a harsh environment for her to live in. Otherwise, she's going to be in her masculine. She's going to be in her like dominant, I need to take over, I need to survive mode, and not in her femininity. And in order to create that femininity, you as a man need to provide that environment for her to kind of exist in, to where she can feel like, okay, he's got everything handled.
Yeah.
I can do the shit that I want to do, and I can make him happy. You know, but a lot of guys, they'll expect a girl to do all the cooking, do all the cleaning, take care of them, and, you know, be a stay-at-home mom, whatever. And you're not even earning that type of money.
Yeah.
You're not even the one that's like being a gentleman, like what we were talking about. You're not caring for her in the first place. As a guy, it's your job to put your foot out first and extend your hand as an offer first. And the girl is the one who accepts the offer. She's the one like, okay, he seems like he's got his shit together. And that's when she's like, okay, I'm going to go with this, and then we'll see how it goes from here. But most guys, they don't even have their shit together, and they're expecting girls to do all the shit that they want when you're not even giving the same.
Right.
So as a guy, I would always say, make sure you check yourself. Make sure you know where you're at in life. And it's okay if you're not there yet. It's okay if you want to pitch to her and be like, look, this is where I want to be.
Right. This is the lifestyle I want us to have.
Right. But for now, I'm okay with, you know, doing a little bit of this and you do a little bit of that. But I just want you to know, this is where I feel the most loved.
Yeah.
And then she can say the same thing. Well, cool. This is where I feel the most loved. And then you just work from there. The last thing that I would say is to be spontaneous. Yeah. Be spontaneous. Make your relationship like a movie. As a guy, that's kind of a important job, because if you're a guy and you learn how to make your relationship feel like a movie to a girl, that's how you'll keep her. But a lot of guys, they get boring. Yeah. So it's exciting, or not romantic,
like girls
not spontaneous.
Love the romance.
Absolutely. So as a guy, it's your job, especially if you're going to be her whole world. If you want her to be obsessed with you, you need to be all encompassing.
Give her a reason.
Yes, you need to be all encompassing. You need to be somebody that is spontaneous. You need to be somebody that can bring the drama in the relationship, but like good drama. You know what I'm saying? There's good and bad drama.
Yeah.
You need to be the person that can kind of like, you know, that's somebody where she can feel like she can brag about to her family, to her friends, that she wants to bring you around, that she wants you to be her whole world. But if you're a guy that's just like a bum, and you just lay around all day and you don't really you work at, I don't know, Pizza Hut, and that's your job. And then you do some.
But a grind is a grind.
A grind is a grind, but you have to work. You really do have to work.
It's working at Pizza Hut, but having no.
Yeah, if you work at Pizza Hut, you come home and you play video games.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's fair.
Yeah. So yeah.
Unless you're working your way up to manager.
Right. And even if you do have a goal, I see so many guys. I don't mean to call anybody out, right? But I see so many guys who are like, "Oh yeah, I'm in the entertainment industry or something like that." Whether it's, you know, music, whether it's acting, photography, whatever, right? And they're like, they don't put in the amount of effort that's needed to be successful. Like, you could say that you make music, but if you're not constantly out there grinding, and if your girl doesn't see you out there constantly out there working and grinding, she's going to lose respect for you.
Yeah.
That's just what happens. And so as a guy, you need to be about your purpose. You need to work towards your goals. You need to actually, like, not try to prove to her that you're doing it, but just actually do it. And then the proof is a byproduct.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys try to fake what they're doing.
You should want to do it for you first.
Absolutely. Exactly.
And then she's going to be like, wow, he's so motivated and so dedicated to his purpose.
Exactly.
And we love that.
And what's funny is that kind of brings in all those other factors that we're talking about. And then to add the spontaneity on top of that, that's how you keep her. Because then if you're working towards something and she can see that you're working towards something and you're ambitious and you're assiduous and you know how to, like, play your role as a guy, but then on top of that, you surprise her here and there, then she's going to be like, wow, he is just amazing. He does it all.
Package.
The whole package. Exactly. All right. Advice for girls. Let's do this. You give advice to the guys.
Okay.
I know you have some.
I didn't even finish all my ones for the girls, though.
I'm sorry. Do you have another one?
I do.
Yeah,
I
go
have
ahead.
2 more.
Okay, knock them out.
Figure out their love language.
Ooh.
This kind of goes for both, though, but it's so important. Also, because I believe that people's love languages can differ depending on who they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because, like, I hate being touched by my family, by my friends, anybody. It grosses me out and it makes me feel weird. But that's literally all I want to do is cuddle and lay down and keep touching.
Yeah, it's true.
So, like, it's different, and that's important. Like, if we don't cuddle once a day, I don't feel like he loves me anymore. And he knows that.
Yeah.
But if he didn't know that, then I would just feel like he doesn't love me anymore every day that we don't cuddle.
Yeah.
And, like, his love language has changed. Like, he used to be, like, all about the gifts, so I would, like, bring him random stuff. And then he slowly started turning more into acts of service. So now, like, cleaning up his place or cooking his dinner or making sure he's good, like, those are the things that mean more to him. And that's important because now I could cuddle with him and buy him gifts all day and he would still be like, you're not doing enough. And I'd be like, but I'm giving everything I have.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't matter if you don't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes for both sides, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
It's, like, so important.
Mm-hmm.
So important.
I want to expand on that a bit.
Yeah.
So even with communicating, people don't understand that. So everybody understands love languages. I think everybody's kind of understanding of that. But people don't also take into account that communication is not just through love language. It's through your words as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when you guys get into a fight with each other,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't realize that the way that you naturally communicate to most people is the way that you understand on how to communicate.
Right.
But you don't understand how they hear you.
It. Yeah.
So you need to make sure that it's not a you said this, but I heard that type of situation.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that you take the time to articulate your words and really try to not sugarcoat, but create your message in a way that she can understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the same goes for the girls. So a lot of the times a girl, they get really defensive and they get really sharp with their words.
Mm-hmm.
And guys naturally get into a combative state as men. So when you kind of come at a guy and at an aggressive state, it turns on his primal instincts to be like, oh shit.
And now we're yelling.
And now it's a different fight. Now and there's 2 types of guys, right? So you'll have a guy that when you come at him with a combative state, he'll match that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's a serious situation because when a guy matches your energy, his natural level of combatant is way higher than a girl's. So now the girl feels threatened.
Yeah.
It's different. Or he goes completely stoic and it seems like he doesn't care. But that's his only way to suppress the amount of, like, aggression that he has coming inside of him.
Mm-hmm.
So girls don't understand that. So you need to make sure that when you're talking to him, even if it's in a confrontational situation, it has to be in a way where he understands what you're trying to say and that you're coming at it from a place of love.
Yeah.
Instead of you're in the wrong, you're not doing enough,
and that's
you're a piece of shit. That's absolutely for both
Mm-hmm.
sides. Same for guys, because as soon as, like I said, angels don't exist in hell, right? So you have to create that heaven. So if you're going to tell her, I need you to do this, it would help me out a lot find a way to make the message a way where she can feel like, okay, this is a way that I can help him. This is a way that I can make him feel good.
Yeah, it's all about knowing the other person enough to know how they're going to perceive what you're trying to get across. Because if they don't perceive it well, or hey, they have this issue, they're sensitive about this, and you say it in a way that's going to irritate the sensitivity, now it doesn't matter what you said at all.
Absolutely.
So you have to make sure that they're perceiving it correctly. So, yeah.
Exactly.
And then also, I would say, don't be afraid to change what you want. Like, I think that that's important because, especially for young couples, because you don't have your life figured out yet.
You don't, man. That's
don't know.
That's the hardest thing about being a young couple is that we change so much. It's like you're a new person every year, and I know I'm a completely new person every day.
Oh my God. But it's like, if you're really committed and if you're really serious about the relationship, that's part of the promise. Like, you have to promise to love the person no matter how they change.
Well, and it's not that you're loving like their habits.
No.
You're not loving like their hobbies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're loving them morally, like who they are as a person, as a spirit, you know, and that's what you need to fall in love with is their essence, like their true essence of who they are as a person. That's what you need to fall in love with. Like, you know, for me, I'm an ambitious man. That is a big reason why you love me. You know what I'm saying? I know that for you, you're a very caring woman. And you're a very nurturing woman. And that, for me, is one of the reasons that I really love you. So regardless if you choose to be a professional ice skater 5 years from now, I know that that's going to remain. You know what I'm saying? I know that if children pop into the equation, that's still going to remain. You know, that the essence about you will always stay the same. So people need to understand that your partner will change. I actually will change this to say, it doesn't even matter if you're young or old. Your partner most likely will change. They're going to gain certain different habits or do different hobbies. Half of them you're going to like, half of them you're not going to like. They're going to change their political views. They're going to change the way that they think about certain things. But you need to understand who they really are as a person. And you need to fall in love with that. Don't fall in love with, you know, oh, he likes to golf. I like to golf too. And now we bonded over golf. I used to dance a lot. You used to dance a lot. That's how we first met. But
now you don't dance so much.
Yeah, now I don't dance as much.
But still love you though.
Still love you too.
But
and here we are.
I think that I was directing it a little bit more towards, like, if you get into the relationship saying you want kids, and he's like, great, I want kids, and then you turn around and you're like, actually, I actually don't want kids. That's important.
That is. Yes.
That's important.
You need to make that clear.
Let's not get like 10 years into the relationship
and then start trying to convince him.
You know what? No, now that I actually have been thinking about it for the past 8 years, and I've known actually for the past 8 years that I actually don't want to do this. Let's, you know, even though of course, like, you don't want to break up, and, you know, every situation's different. You might break up, you might not, but it's not worth wasting time. You know, like, you just have to, you're going to change and be honest with yourself and get to know yourself. You can't be in a relationship if you don't know yourself. So, and even if you're going to change, so get to know every new version of you. And if that new version of you is like, I just don't see myself having kids, then
you need to make that known.
Having kids.
Yeah.
I'm not having kids.
Yeah.
You might be having kids, but not with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that those conversations and check-ins like that are important. They're important.
Absolutely.
Great. That was all I had for the girls.
All right. Moving on to the fellas.
Guys? All right. I feel like we touched on some things already. My big one was the gentleman.
Yep.
Stay a gentleman.
Stay a gentleman.
Stop being fake. Tired. Remember the small things. I think.
For the guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I say that I really like this one specific restaurant, and you're saying, oh, we're going to go on a date night, I'm taking you to a restaurant, you'll see when we get there. And it's that restaurant, I'm losing my mind.
Every time.
even if it's like Applebee's, I'm losing my mind because you remembered. And, you know, I feel like a lot of guys have this thing where they don't really listen, and not because of anything negative. It's just like, I think that's a guy thing. Like, y'all just have so much going through your mind that, like, sometimes when also, maybe it's also just me, I talk a lot. And
maybe it's just us.
Maybe it's just us because I talk so much about.
Is this a message to me? Are you trying to say I don't listen enough?
No, I think you do a good job.
Okay.
I think you do a good job.
Saying I don't remember the little things.
You are forgetful though, but I think you do a good job when you try.
Do I remember the little things?
Yeah.
I failed, y'all. I failed.
Sometimes
Okay.
you remember the important little things.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Maybe. Anyways, I think that makes it 100 times more special because half the time, I know you might not be listening because there's so much nonsense in what I'm saying. You might miss the one important part.
You gotta filter it.
You gotta filter it, which means you have to listen. Which means now I'm like, I know I talk a lot, and I know I said that in the middle of a 30-minute rant about nothing.
But that means you weren't listening for some of that.
It doesn't.
Oh.
If you remember the restaurant, that means you were listening.
Enough
I thought you to remember saying the restaurant.
Yeah.
So now it's like you remembered and you listened. That's like
a
crazy,
2-in-1.
And it's so simple, but it's impactful. I believe I would remember it. Okay, second one. I wrote, make her a priority and act accordingly.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Very astute.
So, yeah. So if you know, there's a guy's night.
Yeah.
Or date night. If you don't pick the date night, you have to pick the date night. I mean, unless you've had like 3 date nights that week and it's like,
I was about to say,
we're coming up on the 5th day in a row, like I would like a break from you. That I get. But if it's like we only have a date night every Saturday and your guy friends want to hang out on Saturday, who are you planning on being married to? Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Take me on the date.
Yeah. Well, you need a salubrious balance. You can't just go back and forth or I'm saying you can't always do one or the other, you know.
Right.
But you have to.
Definitely. Like, y'all can plan that for Sunday, though, is the thing. Like, I'm not saying don't go.
Right.
I'm just saying don't go on Saturday.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's actually a good thing that we have done in our relationship. We kind of established that early on as date night.
Yeah.
We set a day and we're like.
Especially with couples who spend so much time together.
Yeah.
So much like in between time, so much not intentional time.
Yeah.
It's
different to go out on a date. It's different to go out on a date because I feel like that is a great point actually, is because a lot of couples they'll pass by each other a lot, but seeing you during the day, even if we're going out like to lunch real quick, is not really the same as you getting all jazzed up for a date night and me getting all dressed up and we're all excited and we've been looking forward to it all week.
Right.
And we know that that's what we're going to end the week on, and that's something to look forward to. So you guys, yeah, that is a really good
not like
point.
We're in the middle of running errands and like we both happen to be hungry. Like, I guess we're going to Panera.
Right. That's like, not a date.
I mean, it's like kind of a date a little bit. It's lunch. But the effort is what's missing.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's a very good point. Yeah, as a man, you need to be able to plan those dates. And I genuinely feel like it's the guy's job to do it. You can go back and forth, you know.
We go back and forth.
We do.
You plan more dates than I do, though.
Correct. Yeah. And it is the guy's job, though, you know, because like that's what makes the girl feel special. Because imagine if the girl is the one that plans it and then takes you out on a date. It's her taking you out on a date.
You even like me.
Yeah.
You even want to be here right
exactly.
now.
But as a guy, you know, you need to be that person that, again, if you're going to want your girl to be an angel, you got to create that heaven. You got to take her out. You got to spoil her.
You got to.
Got to.
Just every once in a while, you know?
Yeah.
Not too much.
Once a month.
Once a month, a really nice one. All the other ones,
really nice one.
You know, I wrote that here. I said, it's not always about the money. How would you treat her if you had none?
Let me expand on that. Because if
it's my note.
You're right. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Because I'm a guy and
I know.
I've been on both sides. I've been on both sides.
So say you have a date night, right? but like you used to do all these extravagant things, whatever, but for some reason you're broke now. For whatever reason.
Shit hits the look, it happens.
Shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you gonna cancel the date night? Or are you gonna say, let's actually blow up an air mattress in the living room and have a sleepover? We'll get some like pizza and popcorn and some candy and have a cute little date night, movie night, some candles, like that is like,
wow, that's such a great romantic idea. Who came up with that?
Who did that?
Wow, that guy.
Wow,
that's a spontaneous man.
What a spontaneous and superhero of a man that would be.
Yes.
What
a assiduous, tenacious, and intellectual man. He just attacked that.
You're done.
Made it happen.
You're cut off.
What a G.
All right. Anyways, you can't cancel the date night because she still needs to feel loved whether you have money or not. And for a lot of no, city girls are up. Okay, they are. And some girls, it's like if you have no money, you have no me. And that's real. But most of the time, if that's your girlfriend, she's going to be like, it's okay. Let's just...
Yeah, if you got to ride or die.
Right, like, let's just not go out for an expensive dinner. Like, that's not going to matter. It's probably more about the time with you and about the attention from you that she's getting.
Yeah.
So, like, canceling the date night would just make her feel like shit, honestly. So, like, if you have no money, how are you still going to make her feel the way she should feel, but without buying her stuff? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's 4 other love languages.
Yep.
That you can choose from them.
I have a weird hypothesis about girls and money.
Yeah.
I actually don't think it's about the money. Like, not in the sense that, like, girls care about the money, but I'm saying, like, it's not the money that attracts the girls.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the ambition that attracts the girls.
Like, how you got the money.
Yeah. Not even how you got the money, but the fact that he's so, like, driven.
Well, the work that you had to put in.
Yeah. You know, it's a byproduct.
Yeah.
But it's also, like...
You're capable.
If I was broke, right, if I was broke, you know that I'm out there doing shit.
Yeah. Like,
I'm actually out there, like, hustling, and I will make shit happen.
Yeah.
And that gives you a sense of security.
Right.
Knowing that whatever it is, I will take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I feel like that's the biggest factor. So even if I went broke tomorrow, if I woke up and just everything was just gone, burned to the ground, you know that I would make shit happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think that's just an interesting thing to think about as a guy, is like, you need to make sure that you have a purpose, that you're working towards something.
Yeah.
You need to build a life that the girl can kind of be a part of,
mm-hmm.
instead of, you know, not having anything and then trying to create something.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a very good point though.
Yeah. You don't have, it's not all about money.
The more broke you are, I think that just means you need to be more creative.
That is what you always used to say. You just got to be creative.
Just more creative. If you had $0 and you needed to make a date,
you could do it.
You're just going to have to be more creative than if you had $20.
Yeah. And we've been on a lot of good dates that were real cheap.
Absolutely.
Real cheap.
And I'll tell you what, I had to come up with, you remember when we used to paint glass?
We did. We used to paint glass. And you know what? I loved it.
Those were some of our favorite dates.
We did it multiple times.
Those are some of our favorite dates. And you know what? I actually really do encourage you guys, because it's a different level of dating now that we're at. Like, now we go to, like, fancy restaurants, and now we go out to eat a lot.
But
and now we go
this is not how, like, we had to work for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
It did not start like this.
Absolutely. And now we go to, like, you know, bougie movie theaters and all kinds of new stuff. And we still, like, do, like, the little romantic stuff, like the lanterns, you know, and we'll have fun with that. But, like, early on in the relationship, when we were just hiking Stone Mountain.
I was about to say climbing Stone Mountain, and that's my favorite date we ever had ever.
Kayaking. Like, it's like the little moments where you really just have to know, like, as a relationship and as a couple, it's those early moments on in the relationship when you don't have everything, that's going to be the most memorable moments. We didn't really realize that at the time, but now that we're at where we're at now, it's the juxtaposition that kind of makes it beautiful.
Yeah.
You know? So very much.
Period.
You're whooping the advice for the fellas.
Thanks so much. My last advice is just tell her she's beautiful.
Oh, you're beautiful.
Thank you. Oh. You know, every girl loves to hear it.
You're so beautiful.
Every girl loves to hear it. And plus that makes her feel like, okay, well, let me take it back. Girls are competitive. It's a competitive world out here. And we also compare ourselves.
Girls are solipsistic, bro. Y'all constantly analyze yourself and compare yourself to other girls all the time.
All the time.
I
You're
know.
correct. So when we receive compliments from the person that matters most to us,
Yeah.
it's like, you think I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
Me.
Yep.
And you're only saying that to me.
Yeah.
So
because you'll have like 30 different girls in your head.
Yeah.
Of like who you think is beautiful, but when a guy's like, you are
Right.
beautiful, it's like it silences the rest.
Right. Especially like if we're like at the mall and he just like turns and looks at you and is like, you're beautiful. It's like,
oh hell no.
Because I just saw 5 beautiful women walk over
That's actually so funny. That's interesting.
Like, what the hell? And that's what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Did you see her ass? Like,
yeah.
But you did, and you still said that I was beautiful.
Yeah.
It's more than just the compliment. It's a little bit deeper, and it's like,
that's a good one.
The more random it is, the better.
Yeah.
So cute.
I like that one. Call her beautiful. Tell her she's beautiful.
Yeah, all the time. Every chance you can get.
That's great. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
Your lipstick looks great.
Thank you.
All right. Honestly, I don't have too much girl advice. I think you nailed most of my points. I think when it comes to girls, the biggest thing is just, I think that we talk about in society a lot, especially towards men, men, this is how you need to take care of a girl. Men, this is what you need to do for a girl. Men, this is how you need to act for women, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But we don't ever talk about the other side. We never teach girls how to take care of a man. You know what I'm saying? You never teach girls like how to make a man feel good in a relationship, but guys always know how to make a girl feel good in a relationship. Like obviously every guy knows you need to be a gentleman. Right. Exactly. Which I'm not disagreeing with, but I think that it should still be a topic that's talked about because I think that is, if you look at the divorce rates, it's something like 70% of the divorce rates are initiated by women.
Yeah.
And that's because they're not being taken care of. Or I'm sorry. They're not being taken care of because they're not taking care of them, of the man. It's kind of binary. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just reciprocated energy because the guy over enough time, he's going to start slowing down on what he's doing because he's not getting what he needs. So one of the things that I want to address is like, as a girl, you need to understand that subtlety is a really hard concept for men to grasp. The straightforwardness is what they're used to. So a guy's whole life, everything is straightforward, from football tryouts and saying you're not good enough, you need to be this position instead because you're not big enough, to being, the slowest kid on a team or the fastest kid on a team, to being the tallest kid in the room, to not being the tallest kid in the room. Everything is very straightforward. Even with conflict and confrontation, when it's a guy versus another guy, it always results in a fist fight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everything's like straightforward, straight to the point. We'll get in each other's faces. Girls are a little bit different. Y'all play around with the subtlety a lot more. So it'll be like, oh, this girl doesn't like me, blah, blah, blah. And then you'll go and chat it up with her in the hallway and then behind her back, call her a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Or like you'll give her like the stare at a distance and she'll know like y'all don't like each other, whatever. And then you'll talk shit. But it's never like in each other's face. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. So girls need to understand that when you need something from a guy, it needs to come straightforward. It needs to just be said. But again, it's about creating that message, right? It's about making it so that he understands what you're trying to say and in a nice way. You know what I'm saying? So I think when girls, everything in a relationship can be solved if they start coming at it from that perspective. Because a lot of the times a girl will make known what she wants. The only issue is that the guy doesn't know that she wants it because it's too subtle. It's not coming across the way that he needs to be able to receive it. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? The biggest advice, though, that I would give to girls, and I want to say girls because I have earned the title, I like to say, I've earned the title of being a man written by women. Okay. That's what people have called me. Mm-hmm. Because my whole life, I grew up with my mom. So my mom raised me. Mm-hmm. And then when I was in high school, I was on that team full of 30 different girls. Mm-hmm. And I was the only boy. And then even on that team, there was a girl coach, and she was kind of like my second mom. Mm-hmm. So then she kind of raised me all through high school. And even now, when I started out my business and stuff, like I'm in business with a girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like my whole life, I've always had women around me and kind of like grew up around women. So I understand both sides very, very, very well. Because as a man, I know my personal wants and needs and my thought process as a guy. But then it's been like embedded into me through the amount of years how girls think.
Right.
You know, so I have a unique stance on the things that I talk about when it comes to guys and girls. And that's why I think our relationship is so great, is because I know where you're coming from as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that the most important advice that I could give to any girl, you mentioned it earlier, was your vetting process. When you're choosing a guy, 9 times out of 10, girls want a guy that's, I don't take this the wrong way. Girls want a guy that's better than them. You don't, not in the sense of like he is like superior.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But just, you want a smart guy.
Yeah.
You want a guy that can fix more things than you, that knows what he's doing. Maybe you have different strengths, but he would have more strengths, is all. He is somebody that you can kind of follow with. That's why girls like a guy who's taller. That's why girls like a guy who's stronger. That's why girls like a guy who's smart. That's why girls like a guy that's charming. That's why girls like a guy that's funny. All of these different things. If he's like, I don't want to say better than you, but if he's funnier than you, if he's smarter than you, if he's all these things, you like to be around him. You like to be around a guy like that. But you don't want the thing that girls or that guys don't understand about that is that girls don't want a guy that thinks that he's more than her.
Yeah.
That's where there's a big problem. That's why it's a little hard to kind of say that message, because girls don't ever want a guy that's like, oh, I'm smarter than you, I'm funnier than you, I'm stronger than you, whatever. So therefore you're less than me.
Yeah.
That's wrong. It's completely wrong, because girls have a whole different arsenal of strengths that guys don't have. You know what I'm saying? We can't act like we're the same.
Yeah.
Because we're not.
Right.
But it's just a whole different arsenal that they're playing with. But as a girl, what I mean by choosing your vetting process is you need to choose a guy that you know will listen to you when you ask or when you tell him these things. Because a lot of girls' problems is they're like, oh, well, maybe I do tell him straight up what I want. He just doesn't fucking do it. So you need to choose a better guy.
Yeah. That's
what it is. It's not necessarily his fault. It's just that he's just not the right guy for you.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. It's that simple. And I think a lot of girls settle for a guy because it's like they'll catch feelings and then it's really hard to pull out of that.
Yeah, so, well, the feelings, women.
Yeah, exactly.
The emotions.
Exactly.
It feels so real when it's so not.
Exactly. So I think that in order for a girl to be able to take care of a guy the way that a relationship should, it's up to the girl to find the right guy. At least that's especially how it's taught in my family, is that girls need to find a guy that is capable and competent and responsible and smart and financially capable and all these different things. He needs to be capable of doing 1,000 different things and another 1,000 of different things that he very rarely needs to do, but he's capable of doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's the best way to kind of find a successful relationship as a girl, is to find a guy that you know is somebody that you can trust.
Yeah.
That you can let take the wheel and you can focus on the things that you need to do or you want to do. You don't need to worry about how much money do we have for rent this month. You don't need to worry about, oh, I need to budget to be able to make this happen and all the stresses. No, let the guy take care of that. Find a guy that will take care of that. So then you can focus on the things that you need to focus on. Or that you want to focus on. Because girls don't want to focus on that. Well, I don't want to say all of them, right? So I don't want to generalize. But I feel like for the most part, from the girls that I've been around, most of them don't want to deal with the stresses of the bullshit that happens. If given the option. Yeah, if given the option. They don't want to deal with the bullshit.
Yeah. I think most girls just don't want to feel like they can't.
Yeah.
Or that the guys, like, they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, not shouldn't because the guy wants to do it, but shouldn't because, like, they're not good at it or,
Right.
Like, you should just leave it alone.
Exactly.
But, like, if given the opportunity, why would
you want
do
to?
More?
Exactly.
Why would you do more if you could do less?
If you could nap all day.
If you could nap all day.
And just have this guy deal with it. Exactly. Exactly.
And he will love you the same.
He sure will. Just appreciate him. That's it. All right. Last thing. Let's I sent you a question that somebody said.
Yeah, I saw that.
Let's read this.
It says, I, 16-year-old male. That's what that means, right?
Yep.
Okay. Need help finding the one that lives near me. every time I use apps that get to know friends or more, I end up finding a girl that has got everything, yet she lives in America. I need advice on how to find the right 16-year-old female that's close by. First of all, 16.
It's okay.
Second of all,
How old is he? He's 18?
16.
Oh, he's 16. Oh, so he's trying to find another 16-year-old.
Yeah, but it's like, you don't need to be worried about that right now.
That is true. That is actually true. That's a great point. Okay. What's your advice?
Also, you have a location thing on the apps that says like no one that's farther than 10 miles from me.
Right.
Turn that puppy on. Is there for a reason?
Right.
How are you getting people in another country?
Right. Yeah,
that's not
crazy.
this
what
whole
apps
thing
are you
is
using?
Not clicking for me. Like this whole thing is like what?
So let's answer the question in two different ways, right? So let's answer it from a larger perspective first. So like a general, how can you find somebody? I think that's a decent question that he's trying to ask is
how do you find somebody?
How can I find somebody within my area that I can date?
Do you have a hobby?
Boom.
Do you like skating? Meet someone at the skating rink.
There you go. I always say, close your eyes and picture the perfect girl. And girls can do the same. Close your eyes and picture the perfect guy.
I don't have to close them.
I'm right here, baby. So when you picture him, where would you find that guy? Where would he be at? Right? And so for some girls, if they're like, let's say you're a bookworm, right? And you're like, the perfect guy that I would find is like in a library reading a book about some romantic novel or something. 50 Shades of Grey. That's not romantic, but whatever.
I know you did not.
And she's like, oh, like that's the perfect guy for me. And for a guy, maybe he's like, oh yeah, like the perfect girl for me would be, I don't know, I would just be hanging out with my boys at the mall or at Avalon, and I see her across and the crowd just blurs and me and her just make eye contact or something like that. Mm-hmm. Then go to those places. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're a girl and you like a bookworm and you go to the library and you see a guy that's cute, guess what?
You're gonna find there bookworms.
Correct. If you're a guy that's looking for a girl that likes to go to the mall or likes to go shopping or whatever, and you want to take her out all the time to go to the mall, and you go to the mall and you find a girl there, guess what? That might be a possibility that she might be the one. So just close your eyes and envision where you would find your ideal person and go to that place and start looking around. That's the best way that I would say that you can find somebody. I wanted a dancer.
I think the hobbies are even easier though, because then it's like you automatically, first of all,
you're good at whatever you do.
Something in common.
Yeah.
You know you're good at it. Yeah. Something to impress them with. Yep. And like, it's like you're guaranteed to see them again.
Yeah.
Like just off rip, like without like you don't have to set up a date. Like we'll both be back here next Friday night.
Yep.
Because this is what we do.
Yep.
Exactly. It's like the easiest way, but you know, some people don't have hobbies.
Sleep. And to answer his question, so he's 16. He's trying to find another 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, it's like
as a dude, bro, you cannot waste time. Why are you wasting time trying to talk to a chick? You don't have anything going on in your life. Like I said, if you want a serious relationship, because there's only 2 reasons why you would ever get into a relationship. You're either dating for heartbreak or you're dating for marriage. Those are the only 2 options. It's binary. If you're dating somebody, you're either dating for heartbreak or dating for marriage. People don't realize that. Maybe it's not heartbreak on your end. Maybe you can but somebody's going to get heartbroken. Yeah. Right? So everybody needs to understand that. And so if you're a dude and you're 16, we already talked about how you need to have a life for a girl to join. If you're 16 and you're living still with your mom and you don't have anything going on, really, maybe you're a football kid and you play football all the time, you don't really have anything for her to join. And then especially like if you're in high school and you're going to college, that's the worst time to date. Because then college, like it's a whole experience and girls are like, oh, I want the college experience. Guys go out to college and they see a bunch of different girls and that's when a whole lot of cheating happens. And it's just a terrible situation. Wait until after.
Like, you just don't need to be like, there's so many other things to be concerned with.
Exactly.
Like
figure out your life.
Whatever you would get into is not going to realistically go anywhere anyway. Like it might if you're like super lucky, but most of the time y'all will end up breaking up.
Yep.
And like get your money up, Like,
get your money
get
up.
your education up. Like, there's so many other, like, 16 is such a pivotal time.
Yeah.
In every
You need to be focusing on
life.
yourself. You need to be going to the gym.
Yeah.
You need to be learning how to be funny, learning how to talk to girls. Because there's a way that you need to talk to girls. Learning how to be a
friend,
person. Yeah.
a good son.
Yep. There's a whole lot that you need to work on before you start worrying about chicks.
Yeah.
That's what I would say if you're 16.
Yeah. Like, it's okay. Don't be that worried about it.
But like if you want to like just talk to a chick,
that's what I'm saying.
And like practice, that's okay.
You can be a little worried about it, but not this worried about it.
Yeah, that's OD. I can't find any girls. They're all in different countries. Bro, shut up.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Like clearly you didn't read the app. Like, just change the location. Like, I still don't understand how that's happening.
Yeah.
Like, is he on Omegle?
I don't fucking know, man. That's crazy. All right, y'all. That's all for this episode. I'm Hamza Khan.
I'm Olivia Van Exel.
All right. That's the Iron Con Podcast. We'll catch you later.
Peace. You think it was good?
Yes, baby.